Hi, today I have a full day of eating for you, as well as I answer the number one question I get asked all the time. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome back to Transformative Moments with Laura. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. This channel is all about health, wellness, and anything I do to improve my life I'd like to share with you. Today, as I mentioned, I have a full day of eating, as well as a question that I get asked often, and I think you might be surprised by the answer.
Every change has a reason, baby, let it come to you. Every soul, every season lives outside of status quo. If we stop believing we're meant to be, expanding our abilities. If the past
Good morning. So as you can see, I have changed up my breakfast. I had beaten the protein French toast to death. So I am measuring the yogurt just because I'm trying to haphazardly, honestly, track my protein. So I did measure. I have just yogurt, plain, non-fat, Faya yogurt. And then I found this at Costco when I was with my mom a couple of weeks ago. And then I found it when we got back. And forget that it says keto on it because I would say that this is definitely not something that I would have eaten on keto. But let me show you the ingredients. So the ingredients are sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, coconut chips, almonds, pecans, erythritol, monk fruit, butter, blueberries, cinnamon, and salt. My dog is trying to eat a lizard through the window right now, so that's what you can hear in the background. And for one serving, it's 190 calories, 16 grams of fat, and 11 grams of total carbs. So like I said, and 5 grams of protein. So like I said, I would not have used this in my keto days, but it's actually a really clean product if you are low carb or if you are just really watching the ingredients in which you are eating. So I have one serving of that on top of the plain Greek yogurt, and that is what I am having for breakfast. So for lunch today, I really couldn't think of anything that I really wanted. So I decided to do just a low carb wrap. And inside I have got turkey and cheese, and that's it. And then some cucumbers on the side, just with some salt on them. But on my wrap, instead of doing mayo and mustard like I do a lot of times, I found this at Walmart, and it's a honey mustard, and that used to be my favorite thing in the world, was honey mustard back in the day. And it's made with allulose, which made me really happy. So, and it's got 2 carbs, so that's not that much. And I definitely didn't even use 2 tablespoons for. I think it's 2 tablespoons is the serving. Yeah, 2 tablespoons is the serving. So I didn't even use that. I just put a little bit on there and spread it around, and that's what I'm having. And then I'm having water to drink, and that is what's for lunch today. It's snack time, and I am about to have a Alani Fit Snack. I found these bars, I don't know, probably about a month and a half ago, and I use them as kind of my sweet treat. They, as you can see, have a lot of ingredients, so don't wig out on me there. They're 170 calories. They've got 6 grams of fat and 17 grams of carbs, 5 fiber for folks that do net carbs, and then 16 grams of protein. So it's a pretty good and high protein bar, and it kind of tastes, oh gosh, kind of like a chocolate pretzel maybe, and it's super good and super yummy. And I don't have them every day. I buy them by the box, and they last me several months. But that's what I'm having for my snack today. Okay, so for dinner tonight, we have chili. And I think I've told you guys about this before. So I make chili with some green bell pepper, onion, ground beef, all the usual stuff, except for I don't eat the beans. So, one, the beans are really high in carbs, and two, I just really don't like them. So, I take out my chili and then I put the beans in for my family's chili. And I also have a little bit of shredded cheese and some sour cream on top, and that's going to be dinner tonight. So, a question I get asked over and over again is, how do I keep my motivation and my willpower? Because I've been on my health and weight loss journey, or just health journey, if you like to say at this point in time, for over 2 years now. And I will say that I would think for anybody, in the beginning of your journey, when you decide that this is it and it's time for you to, lose the weight finally and get your act in gear, I think you do rely a lot on motivation, that underlying why of why you want to do this, as well as willpower. So a lot of things that you're going to go through, because this is all new, is there's a lot of mental and physical struggles that you go through in the beginning, and the way of getting through that is remembering that why, remembering your motivation, why you're doing this, as well as just sheer willpower, and that is an emotional roller coaster that does not last long. So you might be able to hang on to that and keep yourself going for maybe 30, possibly 60 days. And then you start kind of thinking, maybe I don't want it that bad. Or maybe I need to have this piece of cake or this dozen of cookies, or whatever it is that you're trying to decide whether or not you should eat or not eat, or whether or not you're going to exercise or not exercise. So a lot of people say you've got to have motivation and that you've got to have willpower. By the time that you are ready for this emotional roller coaster to end, there is something that has to take over within you. And this is what I talk about a lot with our mental toughness. And it's something that you've got to come up with within those 30 to 60 days of when you are actually using a lot of those emotions to keep going and to be successful. When those stop working, you have to, during that time, really start to build discipline. And it comes down to pure discipline of being able to continue to move forward. And we've talked about how I have bad days, I have good days, because everybody does. And quite frankly, I definitely have more good days than bad days. If not, I would not have been successful. But my bad days, honestly, I didn't start having many bad days until I was, had really pretty much lost all of my weight. I was so driven, mentally strong. I was so driven and so disciplined that nothing was going to get in my way. Nothing. And so that was what really has to take over. That's really what has to take over when you're trying to be successful at pretty much anything, but definitely weight loss, because you've got so many things coming at you. It's not just your physical and emotional states that you're dealing with on a daily basis. You're dealing with other people within your life that, just take this one bite, just take this, or, oh, you can skip this workout today because I'd prefer you do this with me instead. When they know just how important that is to you, And you have to have that mental toughness and that discipline to say, no, it's not something that I want. And you also have to get over the concern that you're going to hurt someone's feelings. You've got to remember that you started this journey for you. You started this journey for your health. Ultimately, all the people around you will benefit. They'll benefit from you being around longer, being healthier, being more able to do things with them that you couldn't do before. But there's a lot of folks that kind of look at you and get maybe a little jealous of your discipline. Maybe they're a little jealous of your success. And so they try to sabotage you, maybe not even on purpose. It could just be, completely subconscious, and they just want their old pal or their old family member back that they had so much fun with, whether it was eating, baking, drinking, or whatever that you are no longer doing or that you have changed. It really takes a deep mental toughness and discipline to actually keep going and to keep on the same path. There is nobody out there that can do this for you. There's nobody. Nobody can do this for you. At the end of the day, the only person that can do this is you. And if you are willing to give up on you, nobody can stop you. So you have to remember, at the very heart and the very center of this entire journey, it's you. And you are going to mess up. You are going to stumble. You are maybe going to fall. But it's getting back up and remembering, this is what I wanted. Sometimes I think about it and I think to myself, these are my choices that I'm making. So if I'm missing out on something that I really wish I could have, whether it's food or drink or whatever, and I know it's not going to get me to my goals, I remind myself that this is my own doing. I also remind myself that if I want to, I can partake in it. And because of my discipline and mental toughness, I can get back on track. Not everybody can do that. And it took me a long time to be able to do that. So if you're in the very beginning of your journey, do not think that, it's like an alcoholic going in and saying, I'll just have one sip. Or somebody that smoked for many years saying, I'll just have one puff of the cigarette, and thinking that it's not going to trigger it. You are definitely going to be triggered. And there are certain things in my life that I realize that can easily put me in a downward spiral. However, because I've been on this journey for so long, I recognize those things. Even if, say, I have a piece of bread. If I have a piece of bread and it's delicious, I know that was one of my issues back in the day before I started this journey. 2 years and 4 months, something like that, into my journey, I know that if I have a piece of bread, that I can stop at one and I can just move on, and my life is perfectly fine. Nothing has changed. I'm still going on track towards my goals, and I have made that conscious decision to have that bread. There was no impulse involved in that. There was no impulse of, oh, I'll just get back on track tomorrow, or I'll just get back on track on Monday. That's not how I think anymore. And unfortunately, when people are first beginning to get on their health journey or trying to lose weight or fat or whatever it is that they're trying to do, they don't allow that mental toughness and mental discipline to be instilled in them to be able to get to that point. They give up a lot on themselves, and they give up on the thought of, I can do this. Just remember that every day you have the opportunity to make better choices. And those better choices will roll into other better choices and more days with better choices. And yes, you'll have some backward falls. But if you give yourself 30 to 60 days, I would say 60 days plus, but if you give yourself 30 to 60 days to to ride that emotional roller coaster, and then also find that discipline. Once you have that discipline, it's a different game. It's a different world completely, and you will reach your goals, and you will realize everything that you were trying to do in your health journey. And once again, that doesn't mean there's not going to be bumps in the road, not going to be, easy all the time, but losing weight should not be so complicated. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. There's a reason that the industry is so big. It's because they prey on the desperate. And the majority of people that are trying to lose weight are desperate. And I was one of those people. I want you all to realize your goals. I want you to have that transformative moment when the light bulb just comes on and it is full steam ahead, and there is nobody and nothing that's going to stop you. Like I shared with you guys, I believe it was a month ago or so, I have my moments. I was spiraling, and luckily I was able to catch myself. And I wasn't, fortunately, I guess, maybe unfortunately, I don't know. It wasn't that I was eating tons of food. It was the opposite. But I caught myself before I spiraled down to where I was going to have difficulties getting back out. Because I still have that discipline and that mental toughness, I was able to identify when I needed to reach out for help. And so I'm hoping that watching me talk about my struggles or my successes is going to ultimately help you. And that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Like I said, I get asked that question all the time. How do you keep this up? How do you do this? How are you so dedicated? Now it's pretty much, I would say probably 90% of the time, it's completely automatic, everything I do. The working out, the watching what I eat. But once again, I am not necessarily tracking. As I mentioned, I'm trying to keep track, breakfast and lunch, kind of what my protein is, for obvious reasons. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm not tracking yet. I will be tracking again. But right now I am still enjoying, maintaining. I weigh myself every single day. I take a weekly and monthly average of my weight to ensure that I am not significantly going up or significantly going down, to where I wouldn't be able to answer those questions. So I do keep track of my weight every single day. I am not concerned with my number. I just don't want it to get out of control. So I keep an eye on it all the time. But those are some of the things I do to ensure that I'm staying on track. And if I don't weigh myself one day, I don't. But of course, it's just not counted in the average. So I hope everyone is having a great day, a great week, enjoying some of the fall weather that we are receiving. And I will see you soon. I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.